massive development in Joslin, Illinois, where the hundreds of cars you see now on your screen were people who found out that their jobs at the Tyson plant were gone. That breaking coverage tops your news at 10 tonight. Good evening, I'm William Ingalls. The Tyson facility in Joslin is shutting down, leaving more than 2,500 people scrambling. This is the letter those workers got this afternoon confirming the plant's permanent closure. Workers will get paid for the next 2 months, but the job some have leaned on for years is gone. The Tyson Foods plant is located in Joslin. That plant began operations in 1983 under the ownership of Iowa Beef Processors. You can tell by the map it was a central part to the local and regional economy. But why is a company that's called the area home for so long closing its doors with next to no notice? Well, the breadcrumbs were public as of about 10 days ago on the company's earnings call. Tyson told shareholders they expect losses around $650 million this fiscal year in its beef processing sector alone. Company officials claim cattle shortages and high livestock costs are to blame for that massive loss. But that reasoning doesn't do much for the workers who now only have a few weeks to find where their next paycheck is coming from. KWQC's Elizabeth Ruggiero talked to some of those workers who learned their career at Tyson was over.
For decades, the Tyson complex in Joslin has been the heartbeat of this community. But that beat went silent this afternoon. As workers arrived for their shift, they weren't sent to the production line. They were funneled into the cafeteria to receive a letter that many say felt like a betrayal.
People started fighting, people were yelling, people were crying. I know people that have been here for 30 plus years. I know people that have been here as little as 3 days.
Tyson says the decision comes down to economics, rising beef prices, and lack of cattle. But for the 2,700 people who work behind these gates, the why doesn't matter as much as the what now. While they'll be paid through October, the loss of health insurance and steady work is a reality that is starting to sink in.
It's devastating. All these people without jobs, they take medication that costs $300 a month. Then insurance don't cover. Now I have to weigh in on that. I have to watch what I do, I guess. I don't know.
Thousands of people across the country are being laid off from Tyson Foods. This comes especially as a shock to many here in Eagle Mountain, since this Tyson plant behind me was only built 5 years ago.
We have a mortgage to pay, we have a lot of bills, we have kids. Not having another job lined up is scary.
It's been a scary couple of days for the more than 700 employees working at the Tyson Foods plant in Eagle Mountain.
Well, that's very unfortunate, isn't it? People losing their jobs in some of these communities, and they're based on their age, and for some of them, they're not going to be able to find anything the way that the economy is at the current moment. And it's very sad and unfortunate. But we're not going to get into all of why this may be, of why these people and these companies, factories, and all these places are closing. We're not going to get into that portion. But what we're going to get into the portion of is that you notice that these prophets that we talk about, these self-appointed prophets, these self-appointed people that can see all the way into 2030. They can tell you who's the next president 2-3 terms on down the line. But yet, they can't tell you about some of the things that really, really matter in people's lives. They can't tell you that your spouse has decided after many years, you know what? I just don't want to be married no more. I don't want you, and I'm out of here. And they can't tell you that. They can't tell you that your child, you wondering why they're so disconnected and hanging out with the wrong crowd and what's going on with them because you haven't tried and because you've been so focused on other things in your life, your career, your friends, and you name it, and you've placed everything above that child. And now they've went out into the world and they're seeking validation from other men for the daughters because daddy ain't been around. They're seeking, and the men, they're seeking the same, joining gangs, joining the wrong crowd, using drugs because of this. Your focus is elsewhere in things, you see. So they can't tell you what really needs to be said at times in people's lives. And just like what's going on with these people that have lost their jobs, and many more jobs is coming, it's total turmoil right now. I'm fortunate. I've been fortunate my entire life never to be somewhere where I walk in and there's a notice that's it. The gig is up. It's over. And I mean that's a hard pill for some. I mean, these people got kids, many of them home. You sit there. It puts you in total turmoil, and you wonder why mental health, which is one of the things that's neglected in this country at this stage, has been neglected for decades. And you wonder why people are just all messed up. But yet, we've got these so-called messengers from God. Oh, they'll tell you about an asteroid. They'll tell you about an earthquake, even though the Bible talks about these types of things happening. We know what the scripture said about certain things happening. That they ain't telling you nothing new. There's nothing new under the sun. Nothing's new coming out of these people's mouths. They're just sitting there, just pushing all of these things that really don't matter. Politics, politicians, looking at them. That's why I have to tell some of these people that are so brainwashed, listening to people like Brandon Biggs and folks like that, where they sit there and we're going to put up some news stuff. And we're going to try to manipulate it, and it's the deep state talk and all of these conspiracies. And then we're going to spiritualize it. And then we're going to act like we love everybody and we want everyone to be in the fold with Jesus. We want everybody. Of course they don't. Of course they don't. Because as I've continued to say it, they don't care about the poor. They don't care about the less fortunate. They don't care about you. They don't even care about their own families, to be as I always continue to say, because the men that are doing this the ones that got kids like that, they are a poor example of a man to their kid. Poor example as a father, as a man, that you set up and want to anoint yourself this great messenger more than everybody in the Bible combined, where you hearing from God every single night about a politician or some Hollywood star or a singer. Give me a break with this. I mean, this is total madness, and it's really sad. So many of these people, they don't care about folks like this. What they care about is somebody with the mindset as this particular person.
We are living in the final days. That's right. And if we go the wrong direction, America is through.
That's right.
America is through.
Yes.
But you have to use
a check.
Yes. Your products are going to come to you.
Yes.
Every one of them will come to you. Come right to your house. And if we can't, we are going to refund. Yeah. I will sell the buildings, parts of the buildings at Morningside in the long run if you give me a chance. Don't let me have to file for bankruptcy. I started back in the 60s, early 60s. Yes. I'm one of the pioneers of Christian television. Right. Pat Robertson invited me to come, and he and I started the first decade of Christian television, and I got to be with him. And so I believe God wants me to not stop when some antichrist person stops me.
That's our old buddy there, Jim Baker, talking about him and Pat Robertson and being the first of them charlatans, some of the early charlatans that were all around out there, and there's many more, because these types of people, there's a new breed of charlatans that live on right now, and we won't get into many of you. We've talked about some of them. Many of you know many of them. They're out here. This new breed, and that's what all of these people that we talk about, these self-appointed prophets, watch me, I don't care if they're claiming God told me this, or I had these constant visions of this, but it's always something around politics, or it's always something about another opposite party is demons and all of this silly type stuff that won't do these types of people that just lost their jobs any good. Won't do you any good. When you come in, as I had a coworker many years ago, came in because many of you know I work night shift. And we came into work. And by morning time, when my coworker got home, his wife had left a note on the refrigerator and said, your divorce paper, and moved everything else out of the house. I mean, she really got him really good, unfortunately, and told him your divorce papers will be in the mail. He was sicker than a dog. I mean, he was sick of everything she did. She played like she wanted to renovate the house. So he spent thousands of dollars, put a new roof on, renovated the kitchens, the bathroom, and did all of these things to get it all nice, because he's just one of them old school type guys that just work, gave her all his checks. She's funneling money from all, it's crazy. And she tried to, when it all went to court, and she tried to force the sale of the home so she can get her proceeds. But in a county where they lived, he had already owned his house. He only had 7 years left of payments on his house when he met her. And the judge only awarded her 7 years worth. And she was sick. She thought she had him. And I mean, it was a total mess. But to see somebody, I just remember him so broken and angry, because he's the third person in my life. I've met 3 people in my entire life that have told me about taking out their spouse, unaliving their spouse. And he was one of them. When we were in our work vehicle, and he looked me we were in the dark, because we were in another building, and he looked at me in the dark and said, if I would have came home, and he's an old country boy too. He said, if I would have came home and saw whoever was moving her, he said, I would have took all 3 of them, two, 3, however many there were, out. And I was just like, I believe him. I believe him based upon knowing him for more than a dozen years, and the way he would have. And she probably knew that too. That's why she did it at night. But these people, these people that we talk about, they doing nobody any good. They're not doing anyone any good. They're poor examples of parents and people. And here they are. They want to act like they're your spiritual guide. They want to act like these people and these phony pastors, have you ever seen them marry anybody? I was just thinking like that. Marrying, I mean, well, they're not going to broadcast the wedding, I guess, if they are doing that, or doing funerals and all. But could you imagine? I was just thinking, I was talking to somebody about this, like, if I passed away and have a false pastor eulogizing, doing my funeral. Oh my goodness. I mean, please. Oh no. I mean, that would be, and to be married by one, to be married by some of these charlatans. Oh, as you see here.
Now, I've sang in different places, and some people can't comprehend. They can't see. They can't see Jesus. And so they go right to when we all get to heaven, and it's going to be okay. Praise God, but I want it right now. What's wrong with right now? That's what the apostles had right now. Praise God. Things down here. Thank you. That's a good brother. Was I too loud? No. Not loud enough. Okay, here we go again. Things down here will no longer matter on that morning when the skies are split and the saints are called away. But most of all, just to be in that great number, the bride of Christ, dressed in white array.
Dream I want to tell you about that was very, very powerful. And It has to do with the election.
That's our old buddy Timothy Dixon, a false prophet. He's got the church. We've talked about it. And he's got this church. You know, guy was jamming, wasn't he? He think he's jamming, but they thought. I mean, this is the kind of craziness. Pastors and they're everywhere. These types of people. And this is like, so they want to be your prayer warrior. They want to put their hands on you. I told you, don't let them put your hands on you. I told you that. All these people and all of these. And so could you imagine? I mean, you got folks, you got to really be alert, be sober, be alert, you know, because your adversary, the devil, he's really on a tear. And these people are everywhere. Young, old, these frauds that are using the name of the Lord. And I was thinking when I was working in the yard there last week, and I was thinking to myself, I said, you know what? I remember my pastor having to set down some people that's totally out of order at a time. My pastor, ex-Marine, sergeant in the military, served in Vietnam. I mean, he's a hardcore guy. I mean, he didn't take no crap. And he had to set a few people down at times, and I've seen him do that. And he's had to, even with me, wanted me to more so be more assertive. That's the firmness of him. And I was thinking like, you know what? If I was a pastor and these people that we talk about, these types of folks and some of these people, any of them, if they have their hands in any type of leadership role, whether it's Sunday school, anything, ministry that they're doing within the church, I would set them down. But especially the ones that call themselves prophets and teach all of these ones that are leading people astray. No, they would be set down, and if they don't, they're going to be out the door. And that would happen, because that's probably the first step, because many of them are just defiant anyway. But some of these people need to be set down. And you see, that's why they don't have any accountability. That's why they like doing what they do, because this social media age, you can start up your own church, and you don't have to be accountable to nobody. And you don't have to answer to no elders or anything. And you can do whatever you want, say whatever you want, no accountability or whatsoever. But you know what? The ultimate head is God up above. So you can think that you can pull your fast little ones out here on this earth and get away with stuff. But one day when you take your final breath, when you close your eyes for good, that's going to be it. And the party will be over. You won't be able to sit there and show news stories and talk about the politics and stand before him and say, hey, wait a minute, Lord. Wait a minute. I was telling them about a politicians. I was telling them about a political party. Hey, I was trying to guide them. No, that's not going to be good enough. That is not going to be good enough. Boy, many people are going to be in great trouble, in great danger when they stand before him. And that's why we do what we do in this particular channel. We warn people. We talk about issues the church that they want to run away from. We tackle Satan and his tactics, punch him right in between the chops. Evangelism for God's channel. My name is Maurice Braxton. And to the next video, my friends, take care. God bless.